The largest local school district in the state of Minnesota has voted to pay teachers based on what color they are, effectively. The Mankato School Board recently voted unanimously to amend a district policy that only non-white teachers could receive additional financial incentives to become mentors to their other non-white colleagues. Basically, if you're not white, you get more money. The new measure also places Black and American Indian teachers in work environments with staff of their own race. So yes, welcome back to segregation, the liberal kind that's supposedly nice and great. Somehow the school board insists this is not segregation, though, and it's just to prevent teachers from feeling isolated from the white majority. Take a listen to this.
When you're one of a majority, it can be very isolating and lonely. To have a support system in place for them is not to segregate them. It is absolutely to support them.
Now, just so you know, this area of Minnesota is like 90% white. And then they just have all these white guilt idiots on their school board that are just making up these insane policies and doing things that nobody in the area probably approves of, you would think. Now, this is all being allowed and encouraged by a revised state statute designed to boost teacher retention. It demands districts develop mentoring programs which may include race-based stipends. This is a very bizarre story. Utah Congressman Burgess Owens joins us to react to all this tonight. It's a wild one, sir. Good to have you on. Good to see you again.
Rob.
The level of pandering here, to me, is simply unreal. Pay more to non-white teachers, segregate them to protect them from white people. How on earth is any of this even legal as far as the payment plan, I guess?
Well, it shouldn't be legal because we outlawed segregation, bigotry decades ago. By the way, this is old school racism. Understand that's what it comes down to. I know I grew up during that time when it was segregated and it's KKK, Jim Crow. By the way, it was a Democratic Party at that time, too, that wanted to separate us based on color. Yeah. So that shouldn't be something that's new to us. But I look at it very simply this. You have a teacher who comes into a classroom, cannot function because other people around her are not her color. She needs to find, or he needs to find another job. We don't need to have racists teaching our kids. And we don't need to have also, this is important, a society in which we look at Black people as not being able to compete through meritocracy.
Right.
That's what the message is here. In other words, only in the arena of intelligence do they put this affirmative action process in place. Ask yourself when's the last time they demanded that a high school quarterback can start on an NFL team because he was Black. Yeah. Everybody's look at that and say, no, that is crazy. Nobody does that because it's all about meritocracy. Yeah. They do that. They don't mind making sure that in the sports arena that meritocracy fits and works. When it comes down to those in the area of intelligence and thinking and critical thinking, these leftists are always looking down on Black people. And unfortunately, we have too many Black people who look down on themselves and allow this to happen. Yeah, it's a perpetual state of pity that you get from the ruling class on the left. What I want to know is, where are these Black and American Indian people that are so offended by the presence of white people? I mean, do these people really exist? Because every time you look at a story like this, it's always a group of left-wing, nut-job white people that are implementing this thing, presuming that there are these people out there that just can't stand to be around white people. And I never really seem to see the actual people that need this. The upside is that we're now seeing where they were grooming these types of folks. It's called CRT. It's been going on for decades where you teach Black people, Black kids, that they are, by nature, are not able to compete, that they are hapless, hopeless, and they grow up hating each other, hating other people, and therefore they're willing to take advantage of these kind of opportunities that these leftists do for them. But that's changing. At the end of the day, we're going to have many more Black Americans, period, that are standing up looking at this as being just insulting. Yeah. We need to very simply make sure that we can think like everybody else. Matter of fact, let's look at the state of California. It's run by Democrats. You have 75% of the Black boys in the state of California in 2017 cannot pass standard reading and writing tests. Mm-hmm. So yes, they have teachers that do not teach. And then, by the way, it doesn't matter what color it is. I'm looking forward to Rob in a position with the Ed labor is to start giving good teachers incentives to grow and to make a lot of income. Bad teachers need to find something else. Our greatest product in our history is our kids. We cannot afford to allow these leftist, woke, racist people to control our society and to control our kids' future the way they are right now.
We covered the story last night about how awful the schools are in these inner cities. We had the big story out of Baltimore. Kim Klacik joined us for that story. It's incredible to see. I mean, we talk about a kid that had a .13 GPA, which is basically failing everything and getting 1 D minus, and he was about at the 50 percentile of his class, which means half the class was somehow even worse than that. You see these schools, and you see a public education system, and you make such a great point. An education system that has no incentive to improve because they are a complete monopoly. It's government, right? They have no competition. They box out charter. They box out, they try to box out private. They don't let you take a credit so that you can use your tax dollars towards a private school if your school is terrible. They do all these things, and your kid is left being the victim of just a horrible system.
And this is what the black community has been dealing with for decades. The upside of 2020 is that all Americans now beginning to see this. And let me just make a promise to those listening. Get the Republican Party back in office. Get us with a remarkable mandate. And I can promise you, we'll be giving kids of every zip code choices, parents, that takes their money where they want to go. And we let these bad schools compete finally. If they can't make it, if teachers can't produce, they want to stay home and not teach, do something else. Don't teach our kids. That particular profession needs to be highlighted more than any other profession in our country's history. Our kids' future depends on how well they think, how well they compete. And these woke leftists could care less. They care about themselves, their own future, their own safety, security, and they hide out. And of course, we can't allow that to happen anymore. And
their own union, I mean, what's amazing is that the schools are so terrible that the simple implementation of common sense policies, you would see grades and improvements. You'd see skyrocketing improvements coming out of a lot of these schools. It would be amazing to watch. Hopefully we can get that done. Congressman Owens, thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, you too.